Audio recording. Camera recording. We are live.
Live.
We are live and alive. All right, so this is how we're going to start this. Welcome, everyone, to the inaugural episode of. You want to say the title?
Dun. Doing it raw.
There you go. Some ASMR for you guys. Yes. This is the inaugural episode of our new podcast show, Doing It Raw Relationship Goals. And we're going to talk. We're going to hit you guys with some stuff today. Some stuff that has been in our hearts, in our spirit, in our soul that we want to share. So to kind of start off, why are we even doing this in the first place? Is it because we think we're all that and the best thing ever in the world that everybody wants to see us and stuff?
No. I think a lot of people don't even like us.
Well, as long as we like each other, right?
Yeah.
That's the important thing.
But because it's needed.
Yes. So welcome to our humble abode. This is our little studio setup, our little living room space, essentially, kind of thing.
Welcome to our living room.
I don't know how you take it, but the way I see it, we just wanted to have a setup where we are in the same space in the sense of you're either in an office or a living room space and you're enjoying the show in whatever device you enjoy it, TV, phone, whatever it may be, a tablet. But yeah, you get to see this in that frame.
VR. Can somebody watch it in VR?
Virtual reality? Sure.
I mean, that would be
I
cool.
don't know. If they want to. They won't be able to see anything because the camera is not VR. So they can't look around the room.
That's true.
It'll just be there. All right. So first off, what is the goal of this podcast? What do we want to bring our audience? And that is the simple message of making marriages great again. I know that sounds very Trumpish. It is on purpose because it gets attention in the first place. So be smart, work harder, not smarter. I mean, wait, what is it? Dang, I'm sorry, no.
Work smarter, not harder.
Again, doing it raw, not edited. Only some cuts between cameras and stuff. But yeah, we are doing it raw because that is what we think relationships are meant to be, do, and how you're supposed to do them, raw, right?
Raw.
Literally. We all know.
Very
We
raw.
all know that's the best way. All right, you know what I mean. Okay, don't try to hide behind whatever you're hiding behind. That part, yes, that's the best way. However, another sense is relationships in general. Everything outside of that, than what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. So, again, don't hide. She knows what I'm thinking. And she knows it's true. That's why she's not in denial. But she's trying to hide behind the mic as well at the same
I'm
time.
blushing.
That part, but also the rest of the relationship is always better when you do it raw. Communication. Big thing,
Yeah.
right? That is a huge thing that is needed in relationships, and a lot of people fail at. But the best way for you to do that is raw, meaning you're true to who you are, you're honest, you're again raw in a sense, vulnerable, all that stuff we're gonna cover today and in the following episodes, and many aspects of the relationship of what it takes to make relationships work. And first off, I guess to explain the name of the title, again, it's catchy, dude. It's catchy. When you see doing it raw. What is that? Oh, it's the outside.
Oh, wow.
Got windy.
Yeah, I got crazy.
All right,
Back to us.
back to us. Anyway, so the purpose of the title is one, to catch attention, two, to kind of explain from the get-go what this podcast and show is going to be about, right? That's why the subtitle is relationship goals, because I believe that everybody has a certain thought process or maybe mindset or, again, goals as to what they want to achieve in their relationship. And we feel that it's very important for us to do this, not just to help out, not that we are the ones we have the answers, but to share our experiences of everything that we've been through in our marriage, in our
Mm-hmm.
relationship in general. All the ups and downs, all the struggles, all the successes, and how we got there, what we learned, and so on and so forth. And the biggest reason is because we just see, first off, if you really think about it, you look around the world, everybody has many things in common, but everybody related to our podcast has this one thing in common. We all came from some form of relationship, meaning you had a dad and you had a mom, right? And that is a relationship. However, whatever that relationship was, I don't know if it was close. I don't know if it was a one night stand. I don't know if it was whatever, right? That had an impact on you to a certain extent. And because we all came from that, that programmed us to what we believe nowadays. And if you look around the world, the divorce rate is high, right?
Yeah.
Suicide rate is high, depression diagnostics are up, so on and so forth. And I'm the type of person who looks at the pattern, meaning, okay, let's go back to what we can notice from our past. And the conclusion we can all draw is that we all came from a mom and dad, and how they were as people and how they brought us up and raised us and so on and so forth. The relationship they had or lack thereof, that programmed us in a certain way that we now bring into relationships. And unfortunately, some of that stuff is not healthy. And mixed in culture, social media, society, the pressure from others, so on and so forth. It just, that's a brew of disaster that we see now when it comes to relationships, where divorce rate is high again. Relationships, people are sticking around just for the kids or just because they have to, and then once the kids are adults, they divorce,
Mm-hmm.
so on and so forth, right? And that's why we want to bring that to a norm, because I believe if we all have that in common, that we all came from a mom and dad, right? And that relationship affected us to a certain extent, then no wonder we see all this chaos happening around the world, where from the president of the United States down to your neighbor, whatever, they all came from mom and dad, right? They all have certain beliefs and programming that they were raised with, and because of that, we feel like the number one thing that we need to put more effort in, and that is important, again, coming from personal experience and from our own opinion, is relationships. Is there a relationship between a man and a woman, and how they come together to build a kingdom, whether that's with kids or without kids, is just building a kingdom together.
Yeah. That was a lot.
Yes, it was. Told you we were going to hit them with a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. And I think like a really important thing to emphasize on is that we are not perfect,
Nope.
that we are sharing everything that we learn, our opinions and whatnot now, because we see a lot of people our age who are separating, getting a divorce, things that they can actually work on
Mm-hmm.
if they really gave it their all.
Yeah. So today we're just going to be hitting you with some experiences of ours. We're not going to tell our story in this first episode. That will be in the upcoming ones. But this is where we are now, essentially, what we believe now, and we're giving it to you all so that you can take it however you want it. You can
Mm-hmm.
disagree or agree. We just know that this has worked for us and has led us to, for people to look at us in the sense of, man, I wish, they don't say this, but they kind of give us hints, whatever. Man, I can't believe she has this life. Man, I can't believe he has that life. Man, I can't believe they have that relationship at such a young age. And we built this. We
Mm-hmm.
built this together with broken bricks, mud, whatever you want to call it. Those are just metaphors, analogies. But we built our marriage. And I guess to kind of go into the first punch that we're going to punch these people with, our new audience, is you build the marriage that you want.
Yeah.
It's not going to come in a cookie cutter, all wrapped with a bow, nice and shiny. No matter if the guy is 6 foot whatever, has $1 million in the bank account and has a six pack. I don't give a okay. That is not, no. You build the person. You build each other. You build
Yeah.
the marriage, the relationship from the get go. So the first hit that we're gonna hit you guys with is if you're not in a marriage, or if you are in a marriage and you thought about marriage and relationships, it was gonna be a certain way, or your spouse should have already been this cookie cutter, whatever it may be. No, you build each other, and that is the biggest thing.
Nobody comes into the marriage perfect, especially yourself.
Exactly, because again, one thing that we see all over the place is the man should be this tall, should look this way, should have this amount of money in the bank account, should act this way when I'm around, so on and so forth. But then when you look in the mirror, you have to be the one worthy of such person. And if you're not ready, guess where that relationship's going to go? Down the drain.
You're going to blame that other person
Yes.
instead of yourself.
Narcissistics. You narcissist. Man, shame on you for being narcissistic. I'm kidding. We all have narcissism to a certain extent.
I was going to say, you told me that we all are.
Yeah, we are. It's just a matter of admitting it, but narcissists don't.
I did.
What?
Admit it.
Yeah. Which again, I helped her build that person, because you want to tell them how you were when we first started dating?
No.
Well, they have to know. Maybe they're in that position and they need help to get out of it.
Like, I think now that when you're in a relationship, you should probably give that other person who is a narcissist maybe a little bit more chances.
Grace.
Grace. Because I mean, I didn't know that that's what I was.
Yeah.
I had no idea. But yeah, I mean, very jealous, very insecure, very demanding,
Defensive.
defensive.
The guys are like, you're describing my spouse, dude.
What else?
That's exactly my wife. My girlfriend.
I don't know. I mean, just what a narcissist is.
What would you tell me when I would tell you, like, hey, this needs to stop? What you're doing here, like, no.
If you don't like it, there's a door.
That's like the catchphrase of every narcissist out there.
Yeah.
Which we all are, but the unhealthy narcissist.
Yeah. The toxic that they call it now.
And rightfully so, right? And kind of to touch base. What I mean by rightfully so, not that it was right for her to be that way or act that way, but I understood why. Not at the time, but now I do. Because again, you're getting to know each other at the beginning of the relationship, and you have no idea where they came from, in a sense.
Yeah.
Until I learned, like, oh, this is because of past relationships. This is because of her experiences with men. This is why she became so independent, which is the hardest woman to lead. But she became so independent because of said circumstances and experiences she had in her past that just led her, again, programmed her and led her to think, if it's meant to be, it's up to me, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, if anybody's gonna make it happen, I cannot depend on a man. I cannot trust a man. I cannot, whatever a man tells me about XYZ, I'm gonna whatever, right? And again, guys are like, dude, that's exactly my spouse right now. But like you said, that type of person needs a little bit more grace and patience. And I don't mean that I was perfect, because I definitely wasn't. However, I did need to lead her to a certain extent, and it was very challenging to lead you. Because again, when we met, I was 19 years old, living at my mom's, no job, and you already had a kid, living on your own. You had your job, and we met in school, so we were both going to school. So I literally had nothing to offer, and here I am telling her like, "Hey, cut that. We're not gonna do that in this relationship."
And I was like, you cut that. We're not going to do that in this relationship.
And then I was like, "Here we are."
And it was back and forth like
It
that
was back and forth to tell you
for a
to
long time.
yes, and I mean, given the fact that we're 12 years together, is a testament to um, talking like about myself. How I came into the relationship is that I was a loyal person. If I was in a serious relationship, I was loyal. I didn't talk to anybody else. Kind of when she got attracted to me and she let me know, I was like, everybody else, go to hell. This is a girl that I'm gonna pay attention to. So
Woman.
women, yeah, and I bring that up because I got driven to a point. I was like, no, this is not gonna work out.
Which a lot of you in your relationship do get to that point when you're with a person like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying like, well, if there's like any kind of, harassment or abuse or anything, like you should stay. But I'm saying like
She
a lot.
hit me all the time.
I did not. Like,
She's a masochist. Kidding. Sorry, you were saying?
but a lot of you tend to see 1, 2 red flags, and then you're like, oh no, I'm not dealing with that.
Yep.
But you are really like into the person, you really like them, you really, want to make it work, but then you're not willing to do the work.
Yeah.
You right away just like cut them off. And because, I mean, yeah, we've been 12 years together, but let's emphasize on this part that our relationship has gotten better and better and better as the years have passed. It's not
Yeah.
like a 12-year relationship where like we are no longer like in love, or like we're literally always like, I'm always getting spanked and
Hey. That's right. Again, doing it wrong. Yes, hi.
like we're on top of each other, and like things that you see with like an early marriage per
Yeah.
se. Like,
The honeymoon stage.
so that's the things that people see that they is she gonna come in here?
No, no, no.
That's the things that people see that they're like, oh wow, like, and it's not fake. Like, even behind closed doors, we're like even more lovey-dovey, and
Yeah.
I'm very clingy, and that has not changed.
Yeah. To tell you this, we literally are technically 24/7 together. And I do mean literally 24/7, meaning I work from home. She's a stay-at-home wife, and she homeschools the kids. So all of the family is literally almost 24/7 together.
Mm-hmm.
And she still misses me. I'm
A
like, I'm right
lot.
here.
Like,
When I go to the restroom, see your little fingers under the door. I miss you.
when I pass and I hear your voice, I'm like, wish you were talking to me.
And that's a testament to the type of relationship we have, because some marriages you get bored, even annoyed of your own spouse, of being
Yeah.
around your spouse. And I'm not saying that we don't feel that. However, it's not even if she annoys me or I annoy her, it's
I know you.
I know you. I know I do. Even if we have those moments in our relationship, we all come back to love, right? We all come back. How this is a person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. How should I show up with her? How should I show up with them? So if I need to kind of have space, I'll go ahead and have my space, do what I need to do to take care of me, because I don't want to present myself to the person I love the most in my feelings.
Yeah.
And not to say that I don't need to show my feelings. However, I need to be emotionally intelligent. I need to have a high EQ when I come to show up, because this is a person that I love the most. This is a woman that I want to spend the rest of my life with. And yes, she can see those sides of me. However, I need to do what I need to do as a man to show up in the best way possible
Yeah.
for you, and vice versa. Because yeah, one thing that early in the relationship, our communication was horrible. And what I mean by that, it was a lot of one, no communication.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it was a lot of walking away if things didn't go the way that we wanted them to go.
Mm-hmm.
To extend that there's a hole in my mom's wall. Not wall, the door. Her front door, there's a hole that I had to patch up because of how angry I would get. That's how angry I would get in trying to communicate. That I punched a hole in my mom's door. That's still there to this day, just patched up.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, maybe our kind of relationship is not what you want, right? Because I know there's a lot of, like, at least women, because I don't really talk to men, but at least women that I hear, like, oh no, like I couldn't be with my husband 24/7, or like I couldn't, like, oh yeah, let him go with his friends or whatever. That's up to you guys. But the tools and the things that we have done will also help you in the kind of relationship you have,
Yeah,
or whatever you choose to have.
yeah, because it's the principles, not. I mean, to a certain extent, the execution of those principles, how you do it. However, it's the principles that make a relationship work the
Yeah,
way
because
it does.
like we're not trying to make you have the kind of relationship that we have.
Yeah.
That's not the point of this whole thing. The point is, like, there's a lot of miscommunication when you communicate,
Yep.
because everybody says like communication is the most important thing in a relationship, but there is very different types of communication,
Mm-hmm.
and not every communication is what works.
Yep.
Not every type.
Yep. And we learned on the hard way, and hence the title, "Doing It Raw." We have to do communication raw. That's the only way we've learned that communication works, is to be raw. And what I mean by that, yes, it can be hurtful. Yes, it can be great, so on and so forth. But one way or the other, at the end of it, whatever you feel upon communicating that you need to communicate, it will come out no matter what. Especially negative ones, if you just bottle it in. I'm talking to both men and women. It will come out in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And if it's a lot of negative bottled up, it's only going to show up negatively. And I can, yeah, some people can picture it as you blowing up against your spouse and you yelling at them, or God forbid you commit some type of physical assault. You can show up that way. However, you can also show up in you getting into emotional and mental relationships with other people where you want to hang out with them more than your spouse, and so on and so forth, whether that's at work. I recently learned this and I'm glad that I work from home, because supposedly the number one, or the highest chance of you, I guess, being in an affair, or in the place where the highest chance that affairs happen is a workplace.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked about it because if you go home, and that's where they're kind of like, you go home to a dragon. Let's say you're a guy going home to your spouse, and she's upset, overwhelmed because of the kids, and so on and so forth, right? But then at work, you're hanging out with a person, you're working on a project together, and all you're getting is positive, positive, positive. Then you're gonna be kind of, "Oh, well, I want more of that and less of that," kind of thing. So you'll naturally go that way. But because you're in a committed relationship, that's something that needs to be controlled and be aware of, and see, okay, I'm drifting this way because I want that at home, not necessarily that you want that person in general. But that's something that you need to be aware of, communicate with your spouse, and let them know, like, hey, this is happening at work, and that's why I keep drifting to work a little bit more, but I would like that to happen in our relationship more. How can I help to get to that, right? Because it's not just about what I want, is about how can we make this work in a relationship so the relationship wins. Then that is the biggest thing that has helped us mentally, is adapting that mindset, is no matter what happens, how mad we are at each other, whatever it may be, whether it's her fault, my fault, doesn't matter. Is how what can we do, whether it's together, whether it's more on her side or my side, whatever it may be, but what can we do and how can we support each other to make our relationship win?
Yeah, like we we have spent more time building our relationship than anything else, than
Yep.
our career, than our friendships, than us even being parents.
Yep.
Like we have spent a lot of time building this relationship. And you were saying like that what you recently learned, and I did too. I recently learned that that women don't. There's a high chance women don't want to be stay-at-home moms
Mm-hmm.
or wives because of the relationships they have at work.
Yep.
And that blew my mind.
Mm.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, because women are more social, because that's something that I also learned is that unfortunately, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to them ending, the woman has more social support than the man.
Mm,
Because throughout the trajectory, the man was more, I need to provide, protect, so on and so
yeah.
forth for the spouse. And because of that, the spouse had the opportunity to socialize
Yeah.
with people, right? Whether she was a stay at home mom or even working. But because I guess the man had blinders on, meaning I need to focus on providing, so on and so forth, that meant saying no to social interactions
Mm-hmm.
and creating relationships that to the point that when it ends, unfortunately, they lost what they really kind of focused on.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing that it's insane, but at the same time, it makes sense that I'm grateful and I work so hard to be able to keep my wife at home because I out of every single man wants their spouse to be submissive, and this is another gut punch. I'm gonna kick you in the nuts, guys. All right, but it's out of love, so you can wake up and put in the work. Hopefully, um, I find it emasculating if my wife had to be sub. This again, this is something that every man wants from their spouse, from their wife, right? Is to be submissive to them. I find it insane for my wife to be in a position where she technically has to be submissive out of force to another man, aka a boss. And for the guy to be like, "Hey, can you do this for me?" whatever it may be, and your wife have to be kind of in the place of, "I don't really want to, but it's my job technically," and she reframes it in that sense. So
Mm,
she submits. God almighty, that's emasculating just thinking of it that way. But that makes me grateful. And again, I work hard to keep her at home and be able to prevent that from happening. Because again, going back to what I mentioned earlier, from one thing that I learned, and it makes sense, the number one place that affairs happen is at a workplace, right?
mm-hmm.
So I'm her number one influence. And I work hard to keep it that way. And I bring that up because when it comes to decisions for your marriage and your relationship, you will have to make sacrifices. Because I'm sure my wife wants to be out there working. She wanted to be a nurse, and she was going to school for that. And I'm sure she might like, right, some of the pros of being out there, having friends, go out drinking, having girls' nights, so on and so forth. But at what
Well, I
cost?
mean, I don't have to go to work to do that.
But you need to
But
so
yeah, I mean, because I did go through that period when
yeah.
I became a stay-at-home mom where I felt like, I guess like I had never like been a stay-at-home mom
Yeah.
ever. Right? I already had my son and I had to still work since he was 3 months old.
Yeah.
So I went through that period of like, man, I want to feel like, like I have this career and like, like I've done all this stuff and
Mm-hmm.
powerful at work and stuff like that. Um, and I went through that phase of like, well, I'm just a stay at home mom.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, like I would cry because
Yeah.
it'd be like,
She had emotional breakdowns because she felt like she wasn't doing.
Yeah, like I was like a nobody.
Yeah. And I'm like, I mean, I didn't say that, but in my head, I'm like, you're literally building a home.
Like to me it's like,
This is nothing.
but because I had already worked for a long time, like I already had, you know, started something. I
Mm-hmm.
was already like building something for myself. And it I guess like in our circle it wasn't really like a good thing, cuz something that I heard very young was like, in order for you to make it in life nowadays, both people have to work.
Mm-hmm.
So that stuck with me, and I was like, I'm always going to have to work regardless.
Yeah.
Right? So when I became a stay-at-home mom, I was like, I'm just here. Like I have no, what do you call it?
Input.
No, not input, but like
Purpose.
purpose. Yeah,
Mm.
like I have no purpose until like you learn like actually you have the like hardest job in the world.
Yeah.
And then I made it harder by being a homeschool
Homeschool.
mom. Like, oh, it wasn't enough. That it was already hard. Let's go ahead and step it up.
Yeah. And we bring all that up to basically say how whatever you want in your relationship, it will come with sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
Big ones. Um, especially if you have kids. However you want to raise your kids, however you want to build your relationship, so on and so forth, it will come with sacrifices. What I mean by that, we, to a certain extent, we sacrifice our relationship with our kids because of our relationship. And our kids, maybe sometimes they think about it a certain way, right? That
Mm-hmm.
why are they giving more attention to each other, not to us?
Mm-hmm.
How come when this happens, they're nice to each other, but when I do it, blah blah blah, right? And because this is we already see each other as a person that we're going to spend the rest of our life with. No matter what, the person who's going to be there, if God forbid, if one of us gets sick and we're in a hospital bed, that's the person who's going to be there 24/7 and they're not going to leave.
Yeah.
And we want to work our way ourselves into a position where we can do that in our relationship. Because no matter how many friends you have, no matter how many kids you have, so on and so forth, the one person who is willing to quit their job to put everything aside, at least that we think of, and because I'm sure people have different experiences, but the one that we think of is this, the one that we want in the room in the first place is our spouse.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, I do not want to go away alone, and I wouldn't want my spouse to feel like she's alone when God calls her, right? Whoever he calls first, but it doesn't matter.
Me.
It's just that if I'm the one to go first, I want to see the last person I want to see is my spouse. And do you feel the same way?
I am going first
Okay.
regardless. But yeah, like let's put it this way. You know, all you women, when you're pregnant and you're about to have your baby, right? Your mom wants to be there, your sister wants to be there if you have a good relationship, or your suegra. And other than other than from when I had my son, our other three girls, like I didn't want to see anybody but him. Like nobody else. I didn't want my mom. I didn't want anybody. I just wanted him.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. Like if like when COVID happened and they stopped letting the other parent go to the appointments, that broke my heart. Like it was so hard for me to go to every appointment by myself.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
I'm
I
getting emotional.
was in the parking lot, but
Yeah, and he was outside. He was outside, but still like just going, because he had been with our first daughter. He had been with me like through the whole thing,
mm-hmm.
appointments, like blood work, everything. Like you went to everything. And then when they're like, with our second daughter, they're like, oh no, you can't. Like I was so scared that they wouldn't even let you be there when she was born.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this without him.
Yeah.
So that's how big of a connection we have. We're like not even in moments where most people call their mommy their daddy, like, oh, I want my mom's comfort and stuff. No, like I wanted my husband's comfort. He is like my person.
Yeah.
And that's what I want for you guys. Like that's what I want you guys to have, or we want you guys to have a connection that is so strong that like nobody else really matters.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Because people are not toys. And I don't know why people are treating people like toys when it comes to relationships.
Oh man.
Like, again, going back to they need to be 6 foot, have this amount of money. Like, why? What does that add to you? Right? Because what if they have all those attributes, but he's a piece of shit? What if he abuses you? Right? They're like, oh, he's
Yeah.
shiny. I can post him on social media and show up to whatever family gatherings where he acts like everything's good, but at home he's treats me like crap.
Yeah, like one thing that in our relationship, and I mean, obviously it's gonna be different for everybody, but one thing that we for sure like never did was hit each other.
Well, I literally got a pillow to my face today.
Baby.
She's a savage and she doesn't even know it. But go on. Go on.
It wasn't on purpose.
Play back the videotape of when that.
What videotape? Stop. I said I'm sorry, it wasn't on purpose.
I'm like,
Anyway. I don't even know what I was saying. Now all I'm picturing is a pillow in
that
your
we've
face.
never hit each other, you say.
Oh yeah, hit each other and then call each other names. Like
Yeah.
I know a lot of relationships nowadays that are like young relationships or like call each other like
Bro,
not even that, but like bitch.
dude. Yeah, that too.
Like, oh, you bitch, or like
Yeah.
like in our relationship we can't, we don't accept that.
No.
Like that is something that and it might be like fun and stuff, but those are still like in moments of brokenness, those are still hurtful words.
Yeah.
And they will stay with you.
Yeah.
And like, oh, like I call you that all the time, but now you're saying it with anger.
Mm-hmm. And to a certain extent, why do we think of it that way? Because some people are like, "What? It's a big deal. They're just words."
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. All right. You need to shut up, sit down, because the men and women are talking right now. You little boys and girls, you know, be quiet. All right. Okay, and listen. Do less of this, more of this. All right. God gave us 2 ears and a mouth for a reason, so you can listen more and talk less. Okay, here I go. What was I gonna go?
I don't know. I'm
The
scared
reason
for you
why
guys.
we don't call each other bro, dude, bitch, whatever, is because if I guess the people that do that are okay with it is because that's what I call my friends or whatever. And if we want a successful relationship, we want to be best friends.
Uh-huh.
We need to be the best friends. And to a certain extent, I agree. However, your spouse should be up here, dude, mentally. If you're treating them like your other friends, it's not gonna last.
Yeah.
Because they should be up here. You should put them on a pedestal, and you should make them feel that pedestal that they're on. How much more important they are compared to these little friends, right? Because if, let's say, you bring them down here, everything they do with your spouse, to a certain extent, it's insignificant, right?
Very.
Because do you sleep around with your other friends? Hopefully not. Because if you are, definitely your relationship won't last. But you don't sleep around with your friends, right? You don't do that with those other friends. You're not naked and nude with your other friends.
Yeah,
So on
you're
and so
not
forth.
trying to build a life with your friends. Even if you've been friends for hundreds of years. You're not trying to build a life. So when you're trying to build a life with this person is more important, and this person should not be treated as just your friend, because you are my best friend.
Yeah.
Like, you literally are my best friend. I can tell you everything and anything. But you're also my husband,
Yep.
which is above
Mm-hmm.
my best friend. So building that life together with that other person, like, yeah, you calling them names and whatnot because they're your friend, like he said, above.
Yeah.
Because you're telling them, like, hey, like, you're my person. Like, I want to build a relationship with you.
Yeah, because you show it through every single aspect of your life. How you talk to them, what you call them, so on and so forth. You show them. And it's at a subconscious level. I don't even want to say that it's a conscious level, but it's part of your subconscious that you think about your person, and you have to kind of teach yourself to put them at that level if you have not.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not just anybody, they're the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. So they should be put on a pedestal and should be treated as such.
Yep. And I mean, I don't know what's your next point, but another thing is like, because I could already hear like, oh, but I'm not allowed to have friends and I'm not allowed to, like, yes, yes, you are. But then a lot of the times you just want to go hang out with your friends because you don't have a good connection with your partner.
You want to
And you're
escape the
not
relationship.
building that connection. You're trying to build it with these other people.
Yeah, should be the other way around.
It
Where
should be the other way around. Like, and then like the worst thing you can do is go talk shit about your partner to your friends.
yep,
That is
especially if
the
they're
worst thing
single
you can do.
or
You should
divorced.
always talk shit straight to your partner.
Not talk shit, but again, pedestal. All right.
No, but the problems that you have with your partner should be talked with your partner
Yep.
and not to other people.
Yep.
Because then you're just making the relationship worse.
You're just, if you already have that seed of partner did this negative, blah blah blah, and you want to vent it out to your friends, right? Think of your water friends as water hoses. And if that's a weed that they might pour into and water and make it grow, where do you think that's going to lead in your relationship? If you allow, because it's up to you 100%. Your friends can just water it. It's not their fault. You just put yourself in that position to let those weeds be watered, right? So don't blame your friends. Don't blame anybody else but yourself for putting yourself in such position. And I say that both to the guys as well, because whatever stage your relationship is in, to a certain degree, to a certain percentage, it is your fault.
Yeah.
And I mean that whether it's in a good position, technically it's my fault that we have this great relationship. It's her fault that we have this great relationship.
Yeah.
And if it was the opposite, it would still be our fault, because we're the ones building it. We're the ones making the choices, good and or bad, that lead our relationship to where it is now. And yeah, it's one of those things where you need to be responsible. You need to be aware. You need to always be thinking about your relationship, because that is the number one thing, at least we believe, that is worth investing to, the time and effort and money. Yes, it requires money to a certain extent, but that is the number one thing outside of career, outside of kids. That is the number one thing, and outside of your relationship with number one, of course, is your relationship with God, but close to that is your relationship with your spouse, because through them you also have a relationship with God. But that is bar none the number one thing. I have not invested heavily on anything else besides our relationship. And I do mean our relationship. Okay? It's things that build us. That's why whenever I don't have a budget for date nights, she can literally want to go anywhere. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Let's go to Florida.
All right. That's not a date night. But even that, right? I'm like, okay, well, let's make it happen. It's not going to be overnight, but how can we make it happen if it is going to build our relationship?
Yeah.
That's the frame of mind that I think it through. And that's how I think about work. That's how I think about any other decisions is this going to cost our relationship at all? And if it's a minor cost and we can work through it, cool, awesome. We communicate over that. But if it's too much, no. Like I don't spend time editing this podcast because that takes more time, right? I already work full time. I have to build our relationship. I have to build a relationship with our kids, so on and so forth. I don't want to spend time editing the podcast, not because I don't want to a certain extent I don't, but because I see the costs of it. If I were to
Takes
be the
away
one,
time.
yes, to manually be there, she will, to a certain extent, this podcast will eventually be not exist if we go that route. And that's what I mean about there will be sacrifices that you need to do and you need to be okay with and prepare for it mentally and emotionally to be okay without those things if it need be. However, the outcome of it is your relationship wins.
Yeah, like even with work, like you always are like, okay, is this gonna be good for our relationship
Yeah.
if I take this job or if I take this position or if I do this, if I do that, like anything that we have done, we always have to make sure that it doesn't affect our relationship personally.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's always that. That is the number one goal of us together is we building our relationship together. And we're doing this too. And which helps our relationship to a certain extent as well. Because we're doing it together. Doing it raw.
Gonna make marriages great again.
Yes, we do. And we will. And that's the purpose of this show. And that's why we're going
Can
to...
you talk like Trump?
No.
That'd be so funny.
It's a great podcast. Greatest podcast in the world. So good. The first 5 minutes are amazing. I don't even know that sounds like Trump.
That was good. That was good.
Best podcast ever. Invest $1 billion into it.
That's funny.
But yeah, again, going back to why we'll believe this is because literally we all came from a mom and dad. You came from out of your dad's nutsack into your mom. And then out of your mom, now a baby.
That's how raw it was.
It needed to be if for that to happen. You can, because I feel bad for the souls that are stuck in the condom.
Oh,
Went somewhere
oh
else.
my gosh.
Again, doing it raw. But we all came from there. And that relationship between said woman and said man conditioned you and programmed you to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And now you're bringing that into your relationship and you're bringing all that baggage, trauma, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, it's just programming that you went through. This happened, you learn from that. This is how you are preventing or you are inputting what you learned from said experience, so on and so forth. And that is what is building your marriage. And then you regurgitate that again if you do multiply,
Yeah.
which I hope people do because the birth rate is going down, which sucks. But then again, that is a byproduct over the number one place that we all came from is the relationship between our mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we believe and we need to make marriages great again.
Yeah.
Because they need to be. Our humanity literally depends on it.
Yeah. I mean, men need to be stronger. Women need to be more submissive.
Ooh, she went there. She went there, guys. The guys are like, yes. The women were like, yes, they do. And then you hit them with that, like, oh, nah.
Nah, she's
We cut it
crazy.
We cut it there. That's where you draw the line. But it's true. It is true. If a woman is in her masculine, there's no room for the guy to be masculine.
Mm-hmm.
So that's emasculating. Right? After some time, guess what's going to happen? I always have to be in my masculine energy because my man doesn't step up. I'm like, well, give him the room to step up.
Yeah.
Give him the space to do so.
I mean, I had to. Right? Like,
Yeah.
I had to be like, chill.
And trust him. that he can. He's gonna mess up. Believe me, I messed up. But if you believe in him, you build him up, you invest in him, so on and so forth. Because all that guy wants to do is see you smile, see that you're comfortable, see that you're not worrying about certain stuff. But if you have this quote unquote uncommitted expectation of like, this is how my man should be, however, you're not building yourself either, it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
You need to build each other. You need to, if one is growing, this person over here who is growing has to kind of like pull your partner up here. And through example, not through being critical or criticizing or so on and so forth, saying like, I'm doing this, but you're not doing that, whatever it may be, is by pulling it, meaning you make yourself better, the world around you starts to get better. Because that's what I did. That's how I learned. That's how I led my wife. It was never like, hey.
Like, it's not a competition.
No.
Because, like, at least for me,
Unless
I
it's game
didn't
night.
do it on purpose, but it was always a competition. Like, I'm right or like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And it's not. You need to get away from that mindset of like it's a competition. Even if you don't do it on purpose, try to catch yourself. Like, am I trying to compete? Am I just trying to be better? Stop trying to make yourself better and make him better. And you'll see. You'll be like, oh.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Because as women, we're so competitive nowadays
Oh.
and so independent that we're like, I need to be better, and you be better, and you be better.
So you mean stop trying to beat your husband?
Yeah, stop trying to beat him. In a sense, like I had to stop trying to beat you at everything.
Yeah.
Of like always being right, or like, you know what I mean? And give you the space to be the man.
Yeah.
Like, I had to be like, okay, like, stop trying to make myself better and help him.
Yeah.
By giving him the space for him to be the man of the house.
Yeah.
And that's because you led me to that, not because I was like, oh, yes, I need to do it. Like, no. Like, you told me I can't do this when you're constantly trying to beat me at it. Like, I was trying to be a man when I'm a woman.
Well.
And I don't have a D.
Not that she couldn't, because I know she could.
I can't be a man.
I mean, achieve whatever. Look at that. Because a lot of women now are like, I don't need a man.
Yeah. And I was that too. Like.
Yeah, and then you put yourself in positions to prove yourself.
I did.
Right.
Like, I went into this relationship with you not thinking that I needed you as a man, but more as like just
boy toy,
a partner. Of not because I was like, oh, he's,
this is a person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, depend on.
Yeah, like, especially not depend on, like,
he's gonna put me, like, he's gonna make me a stay-at-home mom. So
none of that, because I wasn't even thinking of having any more kids. Like, I was like, it's just the person that I'm gonna be with.
But then we did it
raw.
There you go.
And kids just started popping out.
Yep, that's how it is. That's how it is.
But I went into this relationship of just like I was still going to be strong and independent and like all of this. I never expected to have to step back.
Yeah.
And then let you be the man.
Yep.
So that I can truly be the woman.
Yep.
And not try to be both.
Exactly. Because you can't. To be you. Be who you were meant to be.
Yeah.
Which is a woman.
Yeah.
And that just meant that for me, I needed to take care of that masculine stuff you thought you needed to do. Because of XYZ reasons that happened in your past. And we'll get to those in future podcasts, but yeah.
Like, I don't build anything in the house. That's how submissive I am now. Because
she knows how to raise stuff, though. Make them go up.
I saw a TikTok the other day of like a lady saying like, "Oh, I never wait for my husband to come home because I can do it myself."
Mm-hmm.
Like she was building something. And then I told her like, "Well, what if he just was trying to show off for you and you didn't let him?"
Mm. No.
Like he knows you can do it. You know you can do it. But
He,
hey, like when I see my husband like building something, I'm like, "Oh. Oh."
yeah. Again, relationships come with sacrifices, right? Does she need me to build it? Because she can't? No, because I know she can't. Right? Whether it's gonna take her longer or not doesn't matter. At the end of the
Probably
day,
not.
is that the fact that she can't. However, the sacrifice again, she's sacrificing stepping into a masculine energy and letting the one who's supposed to be in the masculine energy step into it. And again, this is subconscious stuff. It's in our nature essentially. That when a man is building something, that plants seeds on people's head, aka your spouse, that man, this is something that I this is someone that I can depend on. That if I need something built, if we were to come to that at home, I can depend on that person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's constant. Again, the type of marriage you want to have is not something you become this and then that's it for the rest of your life. You're set. No, it's a lifestyle. It's constant growth,
Yeah.
no matter what. You have to continue growing as a person, as a couple, because you will hit different stages in your life, right, and
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. And you need to. And what I mean by stages is stages that you have never encountered before.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to have one a solid foundation in the first place that you need to build, so that whenever the world shakes in your relationship, you don't come crumbling down because of whatever happened,
Yeah.
right? And you need to build it strong.
Another thing is you women need to stop. Like a lot of you are like, "Oh, I don't need a mama's boy.
Mm.
I don't want a mama's boy. I don't want to act like
Their mom.
the mom, but I have to." No, you don't. Stop trying to be his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz
Or stop
that's
thinking that you are.
yeah, or
The things
stop
that you're
treating
doing.
him like that like you're the mom.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times like you just make it worse. Like I do remember doing that at the beginning of our relationship.
What?
Like trying, I guess not consciously, but treating you
Boy.
like a boy.
Mm.
Even obviously you were younger,
Mm-hmm.
but not that you were acting like one. It was just like something that you do until I had to stop
Mm.
myself from treating you like that. Because I'm not your mom. You're an adult, right?
Yeah.
Like all of those things are like, oh, like I tell my husband to take out the trash,
Mm-hmm.
but I want it done now.
Mm-hmm.
But he's gonna take it out in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I just go do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. You're treating him like the mom.
Yeah.
When I had to let go and be like, okay, like he already knows he needs to take out the trash,
Yeah.
right? If you don't, then boss, you know, like you should have. But I'm not like you need to take out the trash. Go take out the trash.
Mm-hmm.
Go do that. Go do this. Like telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Because you already know you're a man.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, guess what? What happens?
The trash piles up.
Yeah. And he's going to have to deal with that. So, like,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, it's your decision.
And that's just an example. Of
Yeah.
One thing.
Yeah, just, I don't know. I'm trying to make a point. I don't
No, I
know.
know.
I don't know if it makes sense, but
Yeah,
like,
because there's a lot of women that go to the extent I don't cook for him because I'm not. He's an adult. He can take care of himself. He can feed
yeah,
himself.
like, I don't pick up
Wash his clothes.
his dirty socks
Yeah.
because he should be picking them, or I don't know. I don't serve him a plate because
Should be, he's an adult. She should be man enough to make himself a plate. However, it's what is that building towards? It's always what is that building towards? Because at that point, how it sounds to me, you're just building your ego. That's all you're doing.
boom.
You're building your ego, your self-esteem, your confidence. Like, look
That's
at
what I'm
me.
saying.
I'm
Like
standing up to
us
the
women, we
norms.
try to just build ourselves up. Like build me, build me, build me. But
And then building yourself up, you're tearing your spouse down.
yes, and then that's why so many men out there are like, they're not acting like men because you're not letting them, because all you care is about you.
Mm-hmm.
You're a narcissist.
You're stealing, you're building your self-esteem by stealing your spouse's.
Because like that whole thing about serving the plate, like
Mm-hmm.
in our culture, women are supposed to serve their husband,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mexican culture.
Yes.
Yes, Latinos.
Yes, right? Like you serve everybody or whatever. Um Many times you've served yourself.
Yeah.
Like when we're out at parties and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
right? When we're at home, I always do it, but it's because it's something that it's like the dynamic we have where like you work and stuff, and the last thing I need you to like spend time on is trying to serve yourself food.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, I can do it.
Yeah.
Like I want to do it. I want to do it for you. I want you to
For me. Okay.
I want to do it just for you, baby. Nobody else. The same way that you want to go work
Yeah.
to make my dreams come true.
Well. But yeah, it's again going back to the point that we said, because it's your spouse, they should be held at a higher level, and you should put them on the pedestal and treat them as such. So that kind of thing.
That doesn't mean they're perfect.
Yeah.
It just means that you're making the decision to be with them,
Yeah.
to make them your person.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're not going to be perfect. Don't think that because you put them on a pedestal, they're going to be perfect. Because nobody is.
Yeah, it's kind of like the king and king dynamic, right? She's my queen, so I see her as a queen. So when I want to appreciate her, I want to show her the appreciation as a queen should, right? And it's not the fact that a queen is just sitting in her throne kind of thing. Like, no, this queen is working to earn her throne and to be able to sit at that throne. So whenever she does get a chance to sit in that throne, I want that throne to feel magical, special, and amazing, and for her to see her kingdom and see like, man, I did all this, and this is how, to a certain extent, the fruits of such labor. And same thing with me. I work hard to for my kingdom to thrive, and she's part of my kingdom, and we build it together. And again, it's from the little things to the big things as well, because she does serve my plate, and every single time, right? Every single time I tell her thank you and I give her a kiss, because I want to show my appreciation over the fact that I know she doesn't have to do that. I know she can tell me, you can serve, here's the food, serve yourself kind of thing. But because she's willing to go to that extent, I should be at least be willing to meet her to that extent as well by saying thank you and giving her a kiss and eating the food.
Mm-hmm.
Because she doesn't have to. You're right. If you don't have to serve your spouse a plate, but do it because it's building the relationship. No matter what anybody else says, like whatever. If they, especially if they're single, dude, do not listen to single people or divorced couples, please. That is the worst thing you can do. If they express their opinion, even if they live a lavish lifestyle, they're traveling, they're showing on Instagram, believe me, once they sit down in their hotel room and they're all alone, the cameras are off, they're not posting on Instagram, so on and so forth, and they're just them by themselves, see how lonely they really are. And how fast they look to distract themselves by posting their lifestyle on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at me, single life, traveling, whatever. Yeah, that's what you see. That's what they're showing you. But how are they when, if the lights go out, they have no connection. Now they have to sit them by themselves. They're not with the dopamine hit of millions of people liking their picture, commenting like, oh my God, this is such a great life. So on, building their ego Once that's scratched off, when they sit by themselves alone, how awesome do they really feel? Are they missing someone? Do they wish they had someone there? Because I'm pretty sure they do. We're all social creatures. We all want to be with somebody.
Yeah. Do you think it's like the lack of commitment that doesn't, or why do people stay single?
I think various things going back to, again, our programming from the people we came from, moms and dads, the type of relationship they had, the type of relationship we had with them, so on and so forth.
True.
Because they're literally the first people we learn how to socialize with. From the time they were babies until we recognize other people and then strangers and so on and so forth. And then we grew up based on decisions that we made that caused either trauma to ourselves, so on and so forth, because of the positions that we were put in. So,
Man.
and we're saying that because we both came from broken homes.
Yeah.
I had no father to grow up with. He didn't. I literally had no one to teach me how to be a man. Nobody saying like, here, learn how to fix a car. I have YouTube dads. That's what I have.
What's his name from Home Improvement?
Oh, Tim Allen.
That's
Yeah,
his dad.
he literally was my dad. That type of relationship, or how that picture really, like, I guess, influenced me without me even realizing it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the type of home that I wanted to have. Like, the men work, and I mean, to a certain extent, even the woman worked in that show, but she was a stay-at-home mom for a while.
For a while.
Homemaker.
Until the kids grow up a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I homeschool, because I want to be able to be a stay-at-home mom at least until they graduate.
But yeah, so we hit everybody pretty hard today. All these stigmas and trendy topics.
That's what
We
this
might
is
get
for.
canceled in our first episode.
Don't cancel us,
Kick
guys.
the-
It's for your own good.
Kick
Like,
the guys in the nutsack a bit. You hit them.
I hit the feminist.
Yeah. Pretty hard. Again, we do it raw. That's who we are. Okay? And again, if you're offended, first off, if you're single, shut the fuck up. Go. Bye. Unless you're looking to build in a relationship to come back. Don't shut up. But kind of listen more. Maybe.
Don't talk less. Listen more.
Yeah, because maybe the
If
reason
you
why you're
have
single.
questions, ask them. Yes, of course. But
Yeah.
then don't just start throwing.
Don't just vomit.
Yeah, because you have no idea.
Yeah, we're talking from, again, 12 years of experience, and this is not just our experience. Yes, a lot of it is our personal experience because we've spent time with each other. We've been together 24/7 since 2019. That's already 6 years. Think about that. The amount of hours we were looking at each other. Literally, again, hence the name of the podcast, Doing It Raw. Seeing every single thing, every single aspect of our life. Because you cannot hide. You cannot pretend to be something 24/7.
No.
You need to be you as much as possible. Because if not, again, if you're not you, you're just pretending in a relationship, that relationship's not going to last.
Yeah. So, just know it's for your own good. We love you.
It's tough love.
We
It's tough
want you
love.
to have an amazing relationship, whatever that looks like for you.
Yep. And it is needed, especially if you have kids, because that is the next generation that you're raising. That's the next generation of relationships that you're building. And we want to hopefully equip you with the things that we were not equipped with. However, that we've learned throughout the years and we have implemented into our relationship that led us to be and have this relationship we have now, which from what we've seen, from what our kids kind of respond to, they love our relationship. They've shown signs of like, man, I want that. They say they want to have kids, they want to be a stay-at-home mom, they want to work here, whatever it may be. But we're showing them that through example. I don't think our kids have ever seen us argue or yell at each other, right? Because we've never done it. I mean, we do argue, but
our teenagers, like, like when he's like, oh, like, yeah, I've seen people argue. It wasn't at our house. It was
Yeah.
at someone else's house. Like, I've seen this couple fight, like, but it wasn't at my house. It was somebody else's house. And I'm like, oh, that's good. Like, it's good that even our teenager who, is more mature and older, like, he knows that we don't attack each other. We talk.
Now, this is how a relationship begins.
Sometimes I'm a little louder, but then you bring me right back down.
Yeah. Yeah, I look at her like, we ain't doing that. It's just a
No,
look.
you're really loving
It's
me.
just, well, yeah, because I have to be. So, like, again, do this example. I know it sounds weird. So if you're listening to the audio,
Because it's raw.
I can just imagine the title, doing it wrong. You hear the sound. I don't know if you can hear it, but if you see it, like, I'm just hitting my knuckles together, right? That's how a lot of people kind of communicate
Yeah.
in arguments, especially, is that they're just tearing each other down, hurting each other. And you're hurt because you're punching. You're essentially hurting yourself, and at the same time, you're hurting your partner. It's up to one person to open up, hold that person who's punching, and then eventually they'll stop punching, right? Because you're holding them down mentally and emotionally, not physically.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have to hold them down physically, that call the cops, go to therapy,
Yeah.
do something. But that's what I did. I just opened up. I was like, all right, I'm still hurting to a certain extent because she continues punching, but I'm gonna open up because I know the other way. I get scared over how violent I can be mentally, and I mean verbally. I can be very, very violent. However, that scares the crap out of me to even get to that point.
Yeah, I've never seen that from you.
Yeah, and I don't want to because I know I can. I know I have that capability and that power, but because I know I have that power, I also have the power to put that into something productive, which is be loving. Okay. Instead of like meeting the person at their energy and then even at a more elevated energy on my end. Cause that's just, you're not going to build anything if you're looking to tear down the person who you think is tearing you down.
Mm-hmm.
You're just tearing each other down. That's it.
Yeah. Man. Wow.
So this is our inaugural episode.
That's crazy.
First episode of this new show, and we went pretty hard. Rightfully so, because it is very important. It's not we're not sugarcoating it. We're not saying that relationships are easy and that they're always 100% fun. However, we build our relationship to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
That is the end goal, right? For us to be happy together, to have fun together, to have a successful relationship together. Because at the end of the day, again, going back to the way that I think about it is on my deathbed, I'm not going to give a crap over how much money I have, the things that I have, so on and so forth. That may be a testament to how our relationship worked out. However, the person that I want to see when I do go, if it's in God's will, it's my spouse.
Yeah. Can I take you with me?
I probably will. I'll probably be, I don't know. We might be one of those couples who like pass away. I see.
Like your neighbors or like your mom's neighbors?
That took about a couple of months, no?
That's still like
I don't know. But yeah, like I
pretty
think
recent. Like,
if you were to go first, and I'm talking about when we're old, okay? God, no, not right now. And not then, but life is not infinite. But I'm pretty sure I'll die out of missing you.
yeah, me too.
But yes, so
Man.
welcome to this new show. We're gonna bring it to you guys because it is something very important in society, in culture, anywhere, no matter what. We all came from somebody, and if you're together, you're planning to build a life which is gonna impact other lives. I want to help you guys be in the best position possible to have the best relationship that will impact other relationships and future relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you think that it won't, believe me, it will.
Yeah. So be ready for it. Mentally prepare to get punched
Out of love.
out of love when you come in
Okay.
here.
Yeah. But other than that, guys, we appreciate you taking the time to listen to another episode. Let us know whether the topics, questions you have, or relationships that we can go ahead and address. There's a lot of fun stuff that we have planning in the road ahead. You'll get to know us at a deeper level. You'll get to know our story. This podcast revolves all about making marriages great again, making relationships successful, and helping you guys get to that point.
Yeah.
So
So
thank you for tuning in.
thank you. We can't wait to meet some of you. And we will see you next time.
We will see you.